he don't have somebody for them to go after, really. But I think they're gonna try to squash him a little bit, tarnish him, but he gonna bounce back.
Who's that?
Don Lemon.
See, they got him. Gotcha.
Don Lemon situation, man. Wow. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you my position on Don Lemon. I'm rooting for Don Lemon.
Yeah, me too.
I'm rooting for him, right? What he did is wrong, 100% wrong. You know what I'm trying to say? But at the end of the day, even though he did what he did wrong, I think I'm biased because I still like Don Lemon. That's my personal thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm biased. You know what I'm saying? I'm rooting for him.
Yeah, but now they're trying to say he conspired too.
Yeah, he did. He did. All the stuff he did was he got it on tape.
Right. But they said he was part of the planning.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I agree.
Well, we talked about that.
Yeah.
But it's coming full circle though. They actually got him.
Yeah, he got a standing ovation at some award, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, they arrested him. He went to jail. They bailed him out.
I don't think nothing's gonna happen. He's gonna get dissolved eventually.
Nah, he gonna pay some cash, and you know what I'm saying, he gonna be on his way. They gonna stick him up for some cash in that sense. They gonna make him go through the legal troubles, blah blah blah. He paid the lawyers, they make a little money off for it, and he be on his way.
At least they ain't try to deport him.
They gonna deport him.
You know,
what's up, Dre? What's going on?
What's good, brother? How y'all doing? I'm sorry for
Dre. What's up?
Good, you right on time.
That's why we got this segment. We talk and we just ease our way in, and before we roll into everything, we were going to hop into this one right here, a clear breakdown of what's going on. So we watch this video, react to it on the other side.
Okay.
New tonight, Minneapolis police are stepping in after a community created their own method of public safety against ICE.
The flames burn as people stand guard.
We are literally creating a place that we know who's coming and going in and out of our neighborhoods.
Wait, isn't that what immigration is? Building a wall, checking papers at the entrance to make sure people inside are alone there. Huh. That sounds familiar.
Were you guys able to hear that one?
Yeah, I can hear him enough.
Very vaguely.
Let me see if I can turn it. Let me just see if I can turn it up again.
It was make it sound like they're checking for freedom papers.
So it's a neighborhood in Minneapolis where they created a barricade to basically know who is coming in. So every car that comes in, they basically did that around probably the perimeter, and they're checking people as they enter in. Mm-hmm. And the guy on the last part was like, isn't that the same thing as ICE or customs, where there's people at entry points checking papers to see who lived there? So that was a concept. So they're basically recreating the concept of custom.
Are they patrolling their own neighborhood type of
thing?
Yeah,
exactly.
Are they pro ICE though?
I think they're they're against ICE.
They're against ICE, but they're doing the same type.
Exactly. That's what the video is. So they're doing the same thing, you know. So thoughts.
What's the legalities of this? Was it legal to do something like that?
Nah, the cops came through and broke it down.
Shit.
Huh?
The cops came through and broke it down.
Oh, they broke it down?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if they broke it down and nobody got arrested, then that's a plus. I mean, only certain people can do that.
Yeah,
I'm just wondering what happens if I don't show my papers trying to get into the neighborhood. What you gonna do?
Kick you out.
You gonna kick me out? You gonna put hands on me? You know, it could tumble downhill. You know what I mean?
So they was kind of there to alert ICE.
Oh, never mind. Y'all gonna tell the people,
right?
Even worse.
Yeah, to alert them like, hey, ICE is here.
Hell no.
New tonight.
Let's see. Yeah, they were blocking They got like fire pits and stuff like that in the middle of the street. See,
that's taking away somebody's freedom of going anywhere they want to go. You
Mm-hmm.
know, if you got a delivery or somebody you know live there, like that's none of their business. You don't have to disclose any of that for being there. I don't know. That, like somebody said earlier, it can go tumbling downhill real quick with the right person.
yeah, it can. It can. So the cops had to go in there. They had to go in there and dismantle it. But it's weird how, like they said, it's anti-ice becoming ice, and that's a great caption. Anti-ice becoming ice, and people don't see that, until something happens, you start to react the same way. You need to protect your community.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to do something like that, you have to organize it with the police and make sure it's legal first. If you're going to organize something like that and it's not legal, it's just breaking the law. They're a bunch of criminals, pretty much. But it depends on who do it. In America, it depends who do it. Some people get a slap on the hand. Other people,
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah, it's America, so it depends on who's really doing it, and they get their consequence.
Okay. Last one before we get started. This one is the Trump signed bill to end partial government shutdown. Hold on, let me see if this one is the recent one. Yeah, this is the recent one. Shutdown setting stage for next fight. Because all of this is occurring because let me go around. I'm going to ask this question slightly different. I just go one by one. Would you be in support where these people are voting? Well, we know Connecticut. Well, and Connecticut is split, but what they're going to weigh in this upcoming one is the Democrats are going to put up a fight for ICE and less ICE and all of that stuff. Is that something that you would put up for the shutdown of the government? Is that enough to shut down the government? Is a better question.
Nope.
Let's go with you, Brandon. What do you think? Is that enough to shut down the government?
It's not enough. It's a big ticket issue. I get it. It's just not enough to shut everything down. Like it's OD for that to be the one thing to be like, you know what? Nah, let's put everything on hold. DCAT, I see you. Welcome back. But no, it's just that's too much. It just don't make sense. It's putting something small over everything else. It don't make sense. That's not what this country's about.
Nice. How about you, P?
So is it more about money, the amount of money they want? Or are we talking?
Well, they're going to frame it in a way to cut down on ICE in their communities, in their prospective communities.
Right, because this is funding. This is going to be like pretty much a bill to fund ICE, right?
Yes.
Right. So, that's not enough to shut the country down. I don't think so.
How about you, Drake?
I'm gonna look at it like this perspective. Who really suffers when the government shut down? So I don't think it's enough because not the rich don't or the well off don't really suffer when the government shut down. It doesn't really matter to them. Only the people at the bottom suffers really. So to starve the people at the bottom, to shut it down for whatever reason, I don't think it's enough.
Okay, so the question I'm going to ask next, right? I'm going to pose this question. Do anyone remember what was the last shutdown about?
I don't remember. I just know who suffered.
Good question, right? What was the last shutdown over?
I have no clue.
It
Was it the SNAP?
Yeah,
I know SNAP got shut down, but we don't know. I don't know why it was shut. Why the government was shut down.
Okay, cool. P, you remember before I give the answer?
I didn't even know.
So it was they shut down the government over SNAP aid to migrant to mainly. Well, all right. I don't want to paint it like that. Let me pull it back up. It was over SNAP and the recipients of SNAP. And when they looked into it, I don't want to sound like I'm on either side. I'm trying to be down the middle, right? Is majority
Right
of people on SNAP benefit was majority immigrants. So we're paying taxes and insurance, and it's going into SNAP, and SNAP is mainly going to immigrants. So, and that was the big component of it, and they didn't want to write the immigrants out of the bill. And I thought about that. I was like, how do you feel if someone telling me that my kids or my community can't get it, but if I'm an immigrant, I could get it?
Yeah.
But let me put it on the flip side. What my father told me. My father looked at me and said, Winston, says somebody has to take care of the poor. You can't always, and he said you can't always go through life and be like, oh, let those people fend for themselves. That's not what I'm saying. He just said, hey, somebody has to take care of the poor. You just can't always look at it as a rose glass or whatever glass you call. And he said they could fend for themselves. So it's like somebody got to be out there to help the poor. So.
Well, I don't consider the immigrants to be poor.
Okay, nice.
It's like, okay, let's be realistic. If you're going to invest in the country's future, immigrants are a part of the country's future. It's what America's built on. So if immigrants come here, you don't give them a chance to succeed, they're going to be homeless like the ones we see walking around. But if you believe that they're going to make something of themselves, you got to give them a head start or help, at least. I think it should be more about maybe less funding, not as much, but either way, it's something that has to be done.
Okay.
Because remember we talked about the whole government bringing these people into the country?
Yep.
So if you invite me in and then threw me on the street, what do you think I'm going to say about you when I talk to your mother?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
No, you go. Go ahead.
No, because I was going to say that when you brought up that point, and we're talking about a conversation we had about a year ago, and we were saying, hey, people were saying that these people can't be illegal if the government are bringing them here.
Mm-hmm.
But it was one of those things the government were bringing them and hiding their hand. So you had a mixed feelings. Like it got to be a good point where if the government are bringing them, they got to have some kind of status. You get what I'm saying? But that was the whole thing where they were bringing them and disguising them in with regular people, not in their neighborhoods, but disguising them in certain cities.
Yeah. Not in their neighborhoods is the key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's crazy too? Like when I worked for Amazon and I was delivering, there were like little cities in the middle of nowhere. Like you would come into like these big apartment complexes. I don't know, it's like a little mini city. And you'd be like, where did this come from? It just popped. And they put these people in places like this away from everything else. And you don't even know it's there half the time. And they do that a lot more often than we think. Every time they get in a conflict with another country, the people that they end up having to pull them out end up somewhere in America in a new community.
Yeah.
But they politic amongst themselves, so it's not like they come here, they don't got nobody. They group up together. Like
Well, that's what happens too, because they put them all in like one little community together.
Yeah, so but then they prosper by themselves and with their families or whatever that's already here. Because they're just like any, like the Jewish community or Hispanic community, Polish community, they spend their money within.
Yeah.
Yep. It stays.
So to add to that, I've definitely seen they create programs for them. They create programs for them. So they add it into the state budget where they have funding. So once these people come over, Connecticut have different resources. They don't have to be high resources, like low resources, where they pay these people to help support these communities. So they're getting money. They get paid to help them. And that money, they got money coming in and flowing to help them. I'm like, wow, That's So when you're in America, you got to ask yourself a question: is America rich or is America poor? And nobody could tell me if America is poor.
No, it's rich. It's just
America
they
is
spend
rich.
the money the way they want to spend the money, and it stems back from slavery. Like, it's been messed up. It's always going to be messed up. Somebody's always going to get the short end of the stick.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's our community always get the short end of the stick, regardless. If we vote or not. Like, I know people say, go out and vote. But I have to sit back and ask myself, is there really power in voting? Like, really? Like, you know what I mean? Or is all this set up to be the way it is, or predestined for everybody to be in positions, or you can pay to be in positions? I'm not sure. These are my questions I started with myself. So, because you hear the conspiracy theorists about the presidents are chosen, blah, 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 this person's chosen, all of that's all preset. So I'm not sure. I just know that we always get the short end of the stick, regardless of which way it swings. So, I mean, I see in my community here in Britain, the Middle Eastern people, they're prospering. They're buying up. If a mini plaza shut down, they buy the whole plaza. Something shut down, they buy it. I ain't got no problem with it, but I see.
You know what's crazy about that?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of
Even
times they get help.
They get help.
They getting help from the government sometimes too.
Yeah,
exactly.
Either that or they
don't
come.
Get that.
No, we don't get that at all. We don't get that at all.
So I'm gonna push back a little bit. I understand what we're saying, right? And everything that we're saying is valid. Mm-hmm. Do we put ourselves in the right position to win? That's the question.
And to that, I would say no, we don't.
We don't.
Sometimes it's all about who you know.
Right.
It could be. But look, I'm going to give you an example, right?
Mm-hmm.
Luke Bronin chose Arunan Arulampalam as supposed to be the next person. Like, all right, he's the next one. Let's make him mayor. Had no experience, nothing. We had a whole black candidate who was qualified. Everybody should have jumped behind him, but what did everybody do? They voted according to the party lines, and they let this dude in. When you could have had somebody who actually would have made a change for people that look like us, had Hartford looking whole different. Mm-hmm. But we set ourselves up the wrong way. People didn't come out and say, you know what, I don't know this dude. They voted according to party lines, and now the city just screwed.
So I agree with that. So one of the things that I'm learning now is politics plays a lot, and we like, you see how we're talking about the major issues right here. Is voting does matter, right? But we don't put ourselves in the right position, and like you see how that young man was there. He wasn't. It's like this. Yes, he had the credentials, but was he known? You know what I'm trying to say? And these are all the same things. It's just kind of having the right backing, more people going out to the polls, voting and electing the right people. Because let's go back to Minneapolis. How did they vote in like this? Good example. I had to do a research where in Minneapolis, Somalian population is only 10% of the population. And how 10% of the population, the whole city is bowing to Somalian community. How is that?
Because the Somalians stuck together and voted for the people, and we didn't come out and vote at all. Just like here in New Britain, here in this city, the what's the mayor? What's her name? Erin Stewart. She ran for what, 10, 12 years, whatever. She had a long stretch, and I ran into somebody that politicians gave him money to get people like me and you to come out and vote, and he broke it down to me like he said she keeps winning because out of so many thousand people here in New Britain, the 3,000 people that come out and vote look like her, and those 3,000 people get her in, and the rest of the 10,000 or whatever don't come out and vote at all. And that's how she got a long run, and it kind of made sense.
Her father was mayor, though. Her father was there, so she had to pull. But I've definitely seen her on the stomping ground. she don't come over on this side of town.
Yeah.
But I seen her on the opposite side on my other house across there. I seen her over there. She comes out, knocks on the door. I was like, that's two things that I see. I see the difference in how they do in different communities.
Yeah.
So on this side of town, Drake, this is a good side of town.
It is.
On the opposite side of town is more a little rough area. And you see who comes out to which area. Because I see most of the aldermans and all of those, they come out on this side of town.
Yeah. They come on this side of town for sure.
Right. But on the opposite side of town, you don't see them. But you would see the bigger parties.
Yeah.
Like Aaron Stewart and all of the bigger people that's running for office, they would hit the harder areas.
Yeah.
Because I think they're comfortable with this side of town and they know how certain people are going to vote.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, they are like, I would go to like some of the events like they hold downtown or in the parks. They would be there. And they're out in the community. It's just a simple fact that the same people went out and voted for her for many years in a row, and nobody here, it was thousands of people. I think she only won with 3,000 to 5,000 votes, and there's 20,000, 30,000 people here in New Britain. And that's all it took for her to win, 3,000 to 5,000 votes, because those same people came out and voted for her, and nobody else came out and voted at all. Or we had so many candidates that represent different communities that this community voted for this person. It was all split. Yeah. Nothing really came together to come against her party.
The thing is, man, we gotta let these young kids today know that if you want to make change in your neighborhood, you gotta.
That's our future. Yeah.
You gotta vote in your district. Your district is where your vote's more important.
Oh, yeah.
That actually changed numbers in your digit.
Yeah. It's the local election, not the big election.
A lot of them only vote in the federal election.
Yeah, the presidency.
That stuff in your district is where you got to be voting.
Yeah, that's
the ones that's messing up your taxes and why your mill rate's so high,
and water rate, light bill, all of that stuff.
Exactly. That ain't got nothing to do with that presidente.
But look, we still in the same boat. Got a state senator. He coming up for election right now. He done screw with all the people money. But them old heads might end up still voting along the party lines and putting in somebody who ain't good for the community. It don't happen, but we gonna see.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think it's all about education, educating our people on all this stuff. Like, I came up in the era where I first time I ever voted was just because the president was black. I had no clue what he stood for. And so he got in office and started swinging the other way, like, like, hold on. Like, but it was pure it was lack of education on my part, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when we were trained in middle school, I think in middle school Clinton was in office, so I think our parents and stuff like that, it was all Democrat. We not having a clue about who stood for what.
Yeah.
So, growing up in that era where everybody was singing, oh, because you're black, Democrat, you're black, or you're minority, vote Democrat. And that was the thing to be, because every black person or any black person on TV had to do with it was Democrat. You may see a black Republican once every now and then, but I had no clue. I had no education on what they really stood for.
So are you saying you regret your vote for Obama?
Huh?
Are you saying you regret your vote for Obama?
I did vote for Obama.
No. Do you regret it though?
Yeah.
Do I regret it? No, I don't regret it, because that was the first time actually just getting out and voting, period.
I'm just making sure you feel me.
Yeah, no, but some of his decisions I don't swing that way, so I don't agree. And yeah. So it's just, and then, but like I said, lack of understanding had me voting for this man, and I had no clue what he was about.
Yeah. Yeah,
he came. I think a lot of people fell into that.
We had a Green Party one time.
Yeah, I mean, we as a people, all we saw the first black president. That's what they were pushing. So we was like, we
2028, come back, my boy.
Yo, we need a third party, man.
Huh?
It ain't gonna do anything.
They got to get a
Nah.
third party to start running again. It used to be three,
The
four
Green Party.
parties. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Back
and
in the day. At least in my lifetime, I saw 3 parties.
Yeah.
Independent
Yeah.
was the other one, right?
Yeah, but them people vote killers, man. You be having somebody close to getting it. Next thing you know, oh man, there's 1,000 people voted for Ralph Nader. Like, whoa,
Yeah.
buddy, you put me over.
Yeah, but you know it's still
Yo,
messed up
Kanye
because
West got 10,000 votes.
yeah,
Exactly.
you know it's all messed up because electro votes. That type of system is like that's crazy.
Yeah.
Once I got to understand, I was like, hold on, electro votes. What's that about? Like somebody can actually win vote by vote and still lose.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
crazy to me.
I don't think a lot of people know either that the Republican Party is what ended slavery, not the Democrats.
Yeah, and that's what I'm finding out now. Like you know what I'm saying, like you know, we have all
A
this
lot of people
information.
don't know that, man. Y'all need to go read them Abraham Lincoln books, man.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I mean, right now I do a little research before I vote. You know, sometimes I'm so busy I can't vote. But you know, I'm gonna try to I try to set example before I say anything. I don't if I don't tell my kids if I'm not voting, I'm not gonna be like, yo, yeah, I gotta get them a vote. Man, I voted like I'm gonna be honest, like 2-3 times in my whole life. So I'm not gonna like push it on them, and I'm not a big fan of it. I will push what I live and what I stand on, and that's his word, and that's it.
And I appreciate your honesty.
So what I'm gonna do, right? I know this late night line. So what I'll do is I'll probably keep this segment in here as time goes on, where you know we could kind of rethink this, because that's the whole thing. We don't set ourselves up to win. You know what I'm saying? We don't put ourselves. It's like these. Every community that they vote someone in, they get is like it's not kickbacks or paybacks. It's like they're voting that person in to do something for their community.
Yeah,
we're the only demographics that don't get anything for our votes in that sense. You know what I'm saying? If we vote somebody in, we want them to, hey, fix the roads, build the parks. You know, it's like I heard them always say, black people vote, but they don't get anything from. I'm like, what does that mean? I always used to hear that saying. You know what I'm saying? I used to, but you know, yeah. But I think this was a good discussion, man. How y'all like this little segment before I move on?
Oh man, this opened up a whole bunch of categories to be talked
Black
about.
people supposed to fall in line. That's what they're trying to tell us.
Yeah.
Every other nationality gets talked about in the bill somewhere, up, down, 2%, whatever. When it comes to black people, they're supposed to fall in line. Ask no questions.
Ask no questions. Yeah.